Joe, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Livingston.
Here.
Ms. Giuliani.
Here.
Mr. Tolman.
Here.
Ms. Sullivan.
Here.
Ms. Cimaroli.
Here.
Mr. Cowell.
And I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay. Public comment agenda. Who's this? Pasquale de Blasio. He needs to work on his penmanship, that's his saying. Yes, sir. What can I
Thank you,
do for
Mr. Chairman. Most appreciative of all of you, and I am most appreciative of the items on the agenda. I've been walking, and the comments that I have heard are about the North End. They don't call it the North End, they just call it the problem. The area.
Which problem?
Well, that's what I say. Which problem? Because I'm like, okay, what is important to you in Bridgeville? What is it? What is going on? It is a problem down there. They should make a rule that says you can't go through Giant Eagle to come out the other side. And whoever comes down that side part, they should be shot dead.
Giant Eagle or Rite Aid?
Giant Eagle. They're on the Giant Eagle.
Yeah,
side.
I'm
Talking all the way down to Giant Eagle.
No. You know how people will come down next to Giant Eagle? They'll come down in front of Giant Eagle where the road narrows.
Yeah.
There are people that'll come down at the stoplight.
Yeah.
They won't turn into Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
They'll keep coming down and merge in. Or there are people that go through the parking lot and come out and try to merge in. And that's what people talk to me about.
Well, there's a whole bunch of people that just don't have enough to do with their life right there.
Yes. And the other piece that I'd like to...
What the deal is.
Yeah. But the other piece I wanted to point out, because it's on the agenda, is there are a few people, not a lot of them, but there are a few people that actually walk to Giant Eagle. The same kind of people that walked to Aldi's that I stood up here many years ago and said, please put a sidewalk in front of Midas Mufflers, and I thank Mike, thank you, because you
You're welcome.
You worked on that, if you remember.
I didn't form the sidewalk, but yeah.
Oh, you created that sidewalk. The person who formed it, the person who
That would've
smoothed
been
it
me.
out.
That would have been me.
No, I hear you, Bitsy.
Why don't you just
But-
ask him?
No, Mike Tomer created that sidewalk. He lined it up, okay? I'm here to ask you to think about not so much the sidewalks, but the walkability and the drivability as we go towards the north, as you look at the north end of Washington Avenue. Because a small amount of effort could create a much needed improvement for people that want to get to the theater, Giant Eagle, but most importantly, the liquor store. Come on, guys. At least give me some liquor.
I got you. Okay.
Also the PennDOT Driver Center that's back there,
Which,
which you can't drive to because you don't have your driver's license, so you can walk there.
there you go.
Okay, so I'm trying to add a little humor to it. I know my brother told me my career in stand-up, you need to sit down, and I will do that momentarily. As soon as I breathe and say underground utilities, it will truly make that streetscape at the north end of our town as nice as the center.
I think it was in our comp plan, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You're not the first person to think about that and speak about it. We've had some discussions already about that.
I'm going to submit something, and I'm going to look at all five of you. I don't think any one of you is opposed to it. In fact, I think every one of you, am I correct, Dixie? You would like to see underground utilities there?
I think underground utilities are awesome. I think the problem with underground utilities is prioritizing all the stuff that needs to be done, and whether that's up there at 1 or whether that's up there at 10. I don't
It's
know.
budget.
It's
Well,
cost.
yeah.
It's cost.
It's bottom line's a cost thing.
Bottom line is the cost. Mike, why aren't the utilities underground at the south end? Because
Cost.
cost. Couldn't get it in. Couldn't get it
It
in.
was $10,000 a pole.
Right.
That now is when we did the project. It was $10,000 a pole, basically.
And, you and I both looked at, and many of you looked at the project at the south end, at the amount of effort that they went to relocate the utilities, and I kept thinking to myself, I bet you it would have cost you less to put it underground, but I'm a CPA, not an engineer. What I'm pointing out to the five of you is, as you go through that process, keep that goal in mind, because I'm not asking for it to be number one or even number two. But I think if we go for the bigger project, it really enhances our community. And that's what's important to us as Bridgeville. The traffic, the walkability, but also that it really looks nice. So I know you want it. I'm here to help you and say, yes, go for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
What tax increase did people suggest they were agreeing to get the underground utilities?
Oh, wait a second. That comes to which bucket this money comes out of, and none of it comes out of Bridgeville. None of it comes from Bridgeville's taxpayers, except the streetscape, okay? The utilities do not have to come out of our budget. Utilities come from the utilities companies. They're required to relocate. Okay? Am I incorrect with that, Joe?
I don't think it works that way.
I thought that when they were in PennDOT's right-of-way, they were required to relocate at their own dime.
I'm not sure. I know I did a streetscape project where we relocated electricity. This is when I worked in Ambridge, and we had to pay Duquesne Light to do it.
Yeah, we had to pay Duquesne Light to do it too when we wanted to relocate, because we wanted to relocate. But when you widen the road, when you change the roadway, and PennDOT is changing the roadway, it's my understanding, I'd really appreciate it if you take a look at this. Because if I'm wrong, then it changes my calculus, it changes my math. But it's my understanding that when PennDOT goes to widen the roadway, it is the utilities. Well, wait a second, we have an expert here.
You're partially right. When there's a major project and they are already in the right-of-way, they're required to relocate. That's the part you are correct on. If there's no other project going on, then there's cost.
Right.
For involved with the project, then it's required. But that's not saying they won't later pass that cost off on to the utility customer.
Well, of course.
So there's a backdoor.
Sure, there's no free lunch. There's no free lunch. How is it going to get paid for? It's going to get paid for in your utility bill.
There's no line item for that.
I understand. It's not going to say the utility bill for everyone in West Bend Power's territory is not going to say it. But it's West Bend Power that has to pay that cost of relocating the utility. That's what I was speaking of. The part that Bridgeville should be looking at, decorative lighting, if you like it, possibly a streetscape project, that would be part of, I think, Bridgeville's budget. I think Bridgeville would have to bring that to the table, if Bridgeville wants it. But notice, that's a small piece of a very, very large project. Let's say.
And we'll cross that bridge.
And
when we get to it.
right, and there, I think, that's what Missy was saying. What's number one and number two? Notice that the bill for relocating the utilities is the push that this body pushes onto PennDOT, who pushes onto West Bend Power, who pushes onto Verizon, Comcast. And that's why I'm at rah for the five of you to please push. Because if you make it something that you keep pushing, which is you'll notice I keep pushing, because I'm hoping you keep pushing, because if we don't keep pushing,
Okay, we know what happens.
thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, adoption of minutes from the September 22nd, 2025 Planning Commission meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion. Christine,
I'll make a second.
Mike, second. Okay, any discussion, comments, corrections? All in favor of adopting the moment in minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. New business. There is no new business listed, so I'm going to keep moving. Old business, comprehensive plan, project implementation updates.
Dale, sorry. I went through all of this stuff about, for the third time probably today. It's not new stuff, but I have some questions. Would that be best later on?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we'll get to it. I want to go through some of the stuff under active transportation.
All right, good,
Updates.
thank you.
North End Washington Avenue revitalization and traffic improvements. SPC response update on multi-municipal traffic engineering RFP. Joe?
Yes, just to summarize, following up to the letter we got back from PennDOT that did, we'll call it a plan review of the Route 50 task force plans from 2015 for the North End. We sent a subsequent request to the SPC to do the same. And we got a letter back from them after the last meeting, essentially saying we don't have engineers that would do a review that PennDOT did. However, we can offer assistance in different ways, such as the technical data to support the findings of PennDOT, and also help with lobbying with the financial end of it. So my big goal was there to try to get the project just on SPC's radar. So that's what we achieved with this. Since then, myself and the manager Collier have been working out proposals, so that we can start soliciting different traffic engineering firms to put an RFP, proposals together for us in response to an RFP for the North End traffic. So at least we got some good positive momentum. Our first budget meeting for the borough is next Wednesday. They did put within the budget funding as requested from the Planning Commission for the North End traffic engineering. Talking to Collier, they're doing the same. So now we're at the step where we got the SPC's feedback, we have PennDOT's feedback, we have the 2015 plans, we had an updated cost estimate from our engineer that was done last year. So now we're at the step now where, just like following what we did with the roundabout concept, taking all that to the next level so that we actually have a set of plans that are one step closer to being constructible.
Okay.
So our goal is to do the refined traffic engineering necessary to work out all the kinks that PennDOT identified with that concept plan from 2015, so that we can start running this up the flagpole to get funding support. So we're really in a good position where both towns put it in their comp plan, both towns put it in their budget for next year. We have plan review letter back from PennDOT. We've been talking to the SPC. We had both legislators at the table. So we're in a good position now where we need to move this to the next level, and that really is just like we did with the roundabout, taking what the Pitt students did to the level of what we need to seek financial support. And I'm just going to follow the same model we did with the roundabout and hope that we can get PennDOT to buy on this project, and then they make an application to the SPC to build it because it's their road, and that's exactly what they're doing up there. So hopefully by this time next month, we'll have an RFP or some type of proposals back that we can start going forward with. Traffic engineering wise, we worked with Trans Associates that did the North End, and then we worked with TPD, that's the other traffic engineer that put together the actual transportation plan. And I went to George, the manager of Collier, this week, and I asked him, I said, hey, what traffic engineering firms did you work with that maybe we can solicit proposals from? And we'll go from there. So progress for the past month.
And does everybody have the 2015, whatever plan it was?
I can share with the group. We had a nice
Yeah.
book we
Yeah.
put together.
I mean, I have it,
Yeah.
but I don't know that anybody else does.
We should have, but I can make sure.
It was,
But we put a nice proposal together when we met with Robinson and Kulik's office, and it outlines all the Route 50 task force plans, the comp plans of both towns, what was accomplished, what this would cost today. So I'll share that with the group.
and the SPC is,
Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, it's the regional planning
that's
agency.
Rich Fitzgerald.
Yes.
And that's who we've been talking to, is Rich.
Okay.
What's his position now? now in the SBC?
He's their executive director.
That's good personality. And he knows Bridgeville pretty well. When we got flooded in 18, he was here a lot.
So, with all of this, this is basically the intersection from Presley
No,
north, or is this?
it's Mayor Street in Collier. The 2015 plan shows it ending at Presley, but when we drafted all our narratives and the narratives to the request, we have it coming to Bar Hill Road.
Okay.
And the big like red flag that comes up in all, where do you do the trestle? Where do you do the trestle?
And that was-
Yeah, so that's good, we know.
Interesting.
But even like PennDOT says in their plan review, it's like, okay, if the planning commission does want to go down Bar Hill Road, you know, it can be done in phases if that trestle becomes like a road block, you know. So at least we're gonna start big and go from there.
And again, we would be, if we wanted to widen that trestle, it would be our financial responsibility.
At first we talked to them, yes, but who knows?
Okay.
And the SBC even says in their letter, they have contacts and are willing to help us with the railroad, so. Maybe they'll know something.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
But
yeah.
every time we went to them, it has been solely on
Right.
us. Yeah. They're at the top of the food chain. We're at the bottom.
And we're not.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions regarding the SBC response?
No.
Okay, downtown zoning district update, advertised, scheduled for the November council consideration to adopt. I saw it was hanging on the wall out there, and I actually sat down and looked it over.
Yes. There was a couple small, not substantive revisions that came out of the public hearing. A lot of the, we'll say, official comments received at that hearing were other items that were contained elsewhere within the zoning ordinance, so it didn't require us to make substantive changes to that zoning rewrite. So it was nice when keep saying the word substantive, to the minor changes that were made to address some of those concerns didn't warrant the need to have a second public hearing and to start the whole lengthy review over. But we did send it back to Allegheny County for their comments. They came back with a couple small things, but it kind of was more administrative, and we're on track for adoption at the November council meeting.
Okay, and Bailey's attorney,
He was provided with a copy of the
Okay.
revisions, and
okay. All right, good.
Okay, moving on.
Actually, I do have just one question.
Okay.
With the, working with PennDOT on the sidewalks, retaining wall project, so on and so forth, are we just kicking the can down the street on that, or is there some real possibility that that might happen?
Which one?
It's Chartiers Avenue, PennDOT project, the difficulty medium. It's like, the big yellow guy right here.
Yellow means like it's in development, so yes,
Yes.
the borough is under agreement already with PennDOT to build those sidewalks. The borough council already accepted our financial obligation for that
So-
project.
I guess I'm just trying to find, are we doing more, we're past kicking the can down the road? We actually have some,
It was just a matter of PennDOT starting the project. It keeps getting delayed on their end, but
okay,
our obligation to participate has been done and approved by council. It's like 32,000, if I remember correctly.
well,
Well,
we
we
just have been
contribute.
talking about this for so long.
This because PennDOT keeps delaying.
Right.
Okay. But they've decided they're gonna stop doing that now? At least
I
for a
can't
while?
speak for them,
Right.
Okay,
but
I'll
I
see.
bet you we're probably 27,
Right.
maybe a year and a half
Yeah.
out at the earliest. But they have a consulting engineer we always talk to, that's very good, because when we have all those questions always keep coming up about crossing at Winfield to the park. So it's definitely a PennDOT project in the pipeline. It's just a very complex project. And came out of the last thing that came from here regarding that project was the crossing at Winfield that Mr. Colmar suggested, and they're still in review with that. So it's definitely something coming about. It's just slow. There's a lot to it. But everything from here we're caught up.
Okay, that was my question have there been any recent developments with, and I realize that talking about PennDOT, things move a little slower than, but,
council that when PennDOT said, hey, we're not gonna do a mid-block crossing to the park, but they came back with that alternative
Right.
suggestion, you know, and they go up the Bank Street or Mayview and come back down. So we presented that to Borough Council came back and said, hey, Mr. Colmar had another idea of, hey, there's another way to do the crossing at Winfield and have a sidewalk from Winfield to the park versus going up and come back.
Right.
So we pitched that to the consulting engineer and the PennDOT representative for that project, and they've been looking at it now for about a month and a half, 2 months. But he sends me an email, it was about two weeks ago, saying, hey, just so you know, they're still reviewing, so letting us know it's not dead. He even sent me an email, kind of preemptive, kind of knew I was gonna email him, yeah, so it worked out good, so.
Okay, one other question. The Chartiers Creek Greenway,
That project's kind of dead right now.
is it, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, there's so many ways to get there without spending a dime.
No, that project was, we submitted a grant application a couple of times to redo the walking path around Chartiers Park. The path, it's nice.
Oh, just around the park itself?
Correct.
Oh,
And
I
then
thought you were talking about the one that went up to Upper St. Clair. I didn't-
No, it had a big picture going over. I submitted it a couple times by itself, and it didn't get funded. Then I submitted it tying into other projects down at the park, and then I got funding for the other parts, like the shelter replace and stuff, but not the trail, so I'm striking out on that one. So consider it dead, but not like forgotten about, it's just the timing needs to be right.
And the other thing, I think people have to realize that there is a huge chunk of private property in between Chartiers Park and Wingfield Pines, where the alley.
Private property?
Yes.
Who owns it? I mean, like a person like you or
Yes,
me?
yes,
No kidding.
yes. So, unless
And they
somebody.
give somebody
buys
right
it-
away, or do we all just go
No,
ahead and do it?
people are trespassing. Yeah.
So that's the biggest issue,
Switch off the thing that,
so.
no, I never said that, didn't you? No, we never go down there, ever.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I won't say another word about that guy.
Okay, I want to start going down this list, Betsy. You jumped ahead of me.
I'm
already.
sorry.
I'm gonna want to talk about this list, Joe. The active transportation summary.
Which one?
The one you
I
got.
know, but I mean, which,
I'm gonna start at the beginning.
the very tippy top?
Yes,
Whoa, you're gonna burn through it?
I'm gonna burn through it
I'm
real
here
quick.
for it.
Okay. Murray Avenue near Shady Avenue, the lights, did that get done?
Yes, if you see things here in green, they're completed.
Okay,
And they even note, if you look far right when it was completed.
okay.
Yeah, green or done.
Presley Road, Route 50 corridor, we're in progress, I would say.
There's nothing
There's
going on.
planning.
If you see white and there's no notes, nothing has been done other than it was a recommendation.
So that's, yeah, I
Of
mean,
the
that
active
was,
transportation
right.
plan.
that was the Presley Road trying to make it walkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from, if you remember back 2022 when the active transportation plan was done, the nursing home or personal care home, the large one across the street from me, was still open and active. And if you remember, a lot of the residents from there, you would always see going up and down Presley in wheelchairs, and that's where it rose to the rank of being concerned. We're like, God, there's a lot of people
Yeah.
foolishly using that road for pedestrian, instead of like, I don't know, the regulars from the neighborhood come down Chest Street, but you had those folks from the nursing home blindly and bravely just going down that hill in wheelchairs, and that's where that was from. And since the nursing home's been closed, it's kind of been off the radar, because there's been no one there, you know.
Is it closed?
It's been closed since '23, but there's a fella in there now trying to reopen it, so I
As a
think
nursing home?
as a personal care home, yeah.
Is that in Collier or is that in Bridgeville?
It's in Collier,
That's
right
right.
across the street,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, I'm the last house, I'm the last house in Bridgeville, across is Collier.
Route 50, Route 50 corridor, kind of working on it, it's not in progress. It's in the planning stages.
It should
Pre-
be
planning.
yellow.
I would say that would be yellow, because in all reality, we do have, through Councilmember Ducey's efforts, the Route 50 corridor task force has been resurrected. And the main goal of that group is a pedestrian linkage from Bridgeville to Carnegie on Route 50. Essentially, a lot of that has been done through Collier when they did redevelopment or site improvements within the shopping center. You've seen sidewalks going in areas that weren't there 3-4 years ago. So everyone is walking and talking the same jargon.
So your color is not white?
Should be yellow.
Yellow.
And I'll put a note on
No problem, I just,
Craig Avenue steps are done.
done. And I had a good piece of news that came with that, is that when we were closing out the grant, we were able to get 100% funding for that project. Originally, it was supposed to be 70, originally it was supposed to be 70 and 30, but we were able to get 100% funding. So it was like 3 steps.
That's awesome.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Good job, Joe.
That worked out. So that was good news for us.
Okay.
And I did see those street lights.
Multi-use trail from Newbury Market through Bridgeville to Chartiers Park. Is there any possibility that we can at least start working with South Fayette to get a trail between Chartiers Park and Newbury?
I would say yes. It was interesting, this time last year, South Fayette followed us with getting an active transportation plan. And when they were in the planning stages, I made a recommendation to them saying, hey, this is our plan, and our plan does have a couple of projects where we could link with you, including this one to Newbury using the old, there's an abandoned railroad bridge down there. And they included that project in their active transportation plan. So similar to what I said about the North End, about both towns having a project in their plan, we did the same thing with South Fayette where they matched ours. So it's just a matter of.
So this is something that we could put, on our list to push, in the next few years.
what more does it entail other than currently, because Guy and I were walking that just a few weeks ago. There's a very reasonable trail through there up to Upper St. Clair's Recreation
he's talking
Center.
about Newbury.
I'm talking about
Newbury,
going the other way.
Oh, the other,
Yeah.
what's the other way?
like going
Going
out of
towards-
Bridgeville, past Presbyterian Church,
Yeah,
Bethany Presbyterian, out the back end of Bridgeville.
Yeah.
There's a railroad bridge that's not being used, crosses Chartiers Creek and goes into
Newbury.
like where, Newbury.
God, I feel really left out. Okay, so okay,
It's,
I'll get it.
I didn't,
I'll
until I
check.
worked for the borough,
I
I didn't
don't
know
know
about
what
it
we're
either,
talking
so don't feel bad. I said, before I worked for the borough, I didn't know about it either, so don't feel bad.
Oh, I don't
It's
feel bad.
It's a piece of private property owned by
Yeah.
John
Guys.
Kosky.
Yeah.
It's an old abandoned railroad spur. So it would be, you only deal with one property owner, it's kind of unique, because it's essentially what used to be a rail line. And,
No.
but there is some logistical things to it, because like it goes through the middle of our public works stockyard. So, there's some sensitivity to me, because I don't want people walking through our stockyard, and then just where do you go? So there is, it's doable.
It's doable, but what I'm doing is trying to look at this now and think about plans for stuff to do for next year, 2 years out, 3 years out, 5 years out. And so, I'm trying to obtain information to try and,
This would be a good one to get on their radar as much as here, because I think it's like some of the, we'll call it the high fruit on here, like the Presley Road is like, God, that's a huge project, but you need to start somewhere with taking that, eating that apple, and
The thing
that would be
about,
one to talk about.
the thing about the North End Trail, and then you have Fairview Park, because now they're South Fayette's putting all trails into their park, and then it's gonna go down into Hastings, where Mayview is. So they're obviously digging trails and connecting down to OTB, and everybody, and Upper St. Clair has they have that whole trail system in Boyce. But, the way to promote it, I guess, is, especially at South Fayette, is like, look, you have Newberry down here, and you have people that live there, and you have people here, and how do you connect them? And, you know, because you can't just, you're not gonna walk from the houses in Newberry to the other side of South Fayette and go, there's no, you're not making it on Route 50
Right.
and go through, you know, the highway there.
That's how you sell it. That's, you're spot on.
Exactly.
That's
So
how you, because if you just said you're gonna go Sharpers Park and Bridgeville,
no, you wanna sit there and go, hey, your people are disconnected.
correct,
And, you know, how do you connect them
through Bridgeville.
through it, but, and, yeah, come through our town,
That's
you
really-
know?
Yeah, that's really spot on, Mike. That's how we have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
That was really good.
So, okay, I'm just, good deal. Thank you, Mike.
And then going back, like, how you were talking, Bitsy, about going to the Upper St. Clair side, we've kind of been at a dead end because it goes Upper St. Clair, then the Allegheny Land Trust, and then there's a private property owner, then Bridgeville. Upper St. Clair, Allegheny Land Trust, and us, we're all for connected, you know? It's just the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle is for it too, but he just wants a huge sum of money.
Even for, like, for the, does he wanna use some money for the whole property, or does,
He was trying to sell the entire
It's
thing
two
to Allegheny
parcels.
Land Trust,
right,
and Allegheny Land Trust had it appraised, so they were serious, and they had an appraisal done, and it was a fraction of what he wants for it, and they're not gonna pay more than what it's appraised.
Right.
So then we're stuck. And
could they, could he be like, I mean, I'm assuming he doesn't wanna sell it as a single-family home. I'm assuming he wants to develop it in like condos and stuff, similar to what's up the top of Meady Road right now.
I don't know.
I don't
Water
know.
village, you mean?
I met, well, Justin Beinhauer,
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
all right, had a meeting with him, public meeting, you were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't you there?
Well, he had
The
a
owner-
trails meeting or something.
The owner was there.
Okay,
And, you know, I think, so what he basically said was they bought that property, well, his dad bought that property, the 3 kids inherited it. It was supposed to be their retirement fund, that's why they wanted to get rid of it. They were asking, I think, 3 million, something like that. He did say that he did have a right-of-way somewhere from, anyway.
Yeah, he does have easements up, because there's an easement, kind of through Borough Park property, up, essentially up a mountain to
Right,
Chartier
right.
Street, the bend.
But he never said what he wanted to build. I think they were talking more single family, you know, no, somebody that would put.
But if he wants to develop it as in, because
He
he wants to develop it, basically.
I wouldn't say develop
But
it,
it's all
I
in the
would say.
floodplain,
Right.
floodway.
My point is, I mean, if he wants to sell the whole thing, I get it, and I'll have this big piece of property. To do a trail, you don't need the whole thing, all you need is
Right.
and he's,
this much along the creek. So it's like, hey, we just wanna cut through here, you know?
That's the flat land though.
So you can still, with,
I mean, you're gonna build a house
you're
down
gonna
there.
build a house, if you're gonna build condos or something, you still need places for people to walk, you know? You still, I mean, people that would, if you had, if you developed it with townhouses or condos, the people that live there are gonna want access to a trail to go here or there.
I mean, the people who live at the top of the hill in those townhouses want access to Chartiers, they come down there all the time.
Yeah, exactly, they would like a nice little, you could have all kind of spurs that went up there.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving here.
Yeah, keep going.
Sorry. Chartiers Park Loop, you're trying to get funding for it, that's kind of,
Correct.
okay. Hickman and Chest Street intersection improvements, bump outs, that's
Oh,
kind of,
we never did anything, that would be something to discuss here, and that's a low hanging fruit,
and Station and Chest Street intersection improvements.
same thing.
Okay,
Something does need to be done, Hickman and Chess is there, we can't see. You know,
okay,
So,
so,
something that's worth studying, well, actually, we did study, it's worth a little kicking around a bit more.
Washington Avenue pedestrian signal upgrades, that's a PennDOT thing.
No, we did do some of this, that could be done to yellow and green, it could you remember, right about the same time this was being done, we adjusted with PennDOT, they adjusted the timing at Station Street and Washington Avenue, and over the past year, you've seen all the crosswalks being updated.
Yeah.
We replaced every single pedestrian crossing counter 2 years ago, so they all count, they all work, every button works, all the counters work, they're all replaced. The sidewalks are being, or crosswalks are being replaced with the piano keys, and the timing thing was adjusted to give pedestrians the lead, the most that they would do without going too far at the station.
That was 7 seconds, right?
No, 3 seconds. So
It was 3, I thought it went to 7.
No, it was at 0 and went to 3.
Because when I go see
Dr.
Dr. Strange, she's still,
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's
well,
not-
actually, I was up there the other day and almost got my nose knocked out.
yeah. Washington Avenue Gateway,
No action. I submitted my LSA, which is local share account, which is state theming grant for that 2 years ago, and it wasn't accepted, so you can put that back to white. But you know what though, is that it went white, and then we were talking this time last year that it would be nice to put a plan together to streetscape the south end, because essentially the south end is, it's, the roadway is done, you know what I mean? It's just now of making it more attractive. And I said, well, why don't we lump that gateway into that project, because it's essentially the same area. So these two should be combined.
okay.
And then that project, which doing the south end streetscaping, essentially, like everything in life, it's like, it starts off saying, I think this is simple and affordable within our means. And it got really expensive quick, because at first I was like, you know what, we could do trees, because there's people have yards there. We can do the lights, because the sidewalk and behind the sidewalk there's room to grow. And then I came to you guys, and then it came up, relocate utilities, do this. I'm thinking, well, this project.
Allows a 2s and 3s set in.
Yeah, because correct, when it was just do some trees, do some of the lighting, a little bit of improvements, make it look nice like the Bogfire drawing, we could have pulled that off real quick. But then when you guys added in, let's relocate the power, let's do all this, let's do everything or do nothing, this thing went nowhere.
Yeah.
So I apologize, but that's
No.
really the honest facts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. But we definitely, it would be nice to do that, because the hard part's done. It's widened. It now needs to be the gateway into Bridgeville. And we did all that. We did the gateway sign on Chartier Street, so it does make sense. It's just that project should be morphed into the gateway. So
okay,
does that make sense?
yeah. Bower Hill Road, pedestrian calming,
We got a lot of traction this year where the engineer did a formal plan. We submitted a grant application here a couple months ago, and then the push button, to cross, it requires a PennDOT signal permit, and the engineer submitted a signal permit application for that. There's a small easement I have to get on called the Tambellini side, and I was waiting to see if the grant gets funded or not. And with the state budget not passed, they're not making any decision on grants. So typically, this time of year, I would know, like the grants I applied for in the spring and last fall, we would know by now. They haven't announced anything. So I don't know when we'll hear. I'm guessing in the spring, we'll know if that project's funded or not. But that project got a lot of support. It was nice, with us losing the flood grant, we had a lot of heavy hitters come to Bridgeville and try to help us. And it was the same time that I submitted the grant, the multimodal grant for that pedestrian crossing. And Summer Lee called the governor, and the governor and her were pushing it as kind of a way to help Bridgeville. That was her word. I was like, okay, we'll see if she does. But it was interesting. She came here. She was all for this project, the crossing, and she was making a call and talk to the governor to see what they could do to advance that. So it's kind of neat that little crossing that was talked to by our congressman to the governor's office. So at least there's been that dialogue.
Do we feel like Baldwin is past being a flood zone?
No, that will never be. It will
So
always be a flood zone.
we're gonna make pedestrian improvements?
Where we at?
By Jerry Delight.
Oh, anything you can do that's good for Jerry Delight, I'm with you 100%.
Perfect.
Did we get a positive response about the parking spots in front of Dairy Delight?
We did end up having a compromise. We ended up redesigning that plan
Okay.
maybe 4 or 5
Oh,
times.
geez, for 2 spots.
It was very expensive, and, but we did the right thing, and we looked at everything from getting rid of, relocating the back picnic area of Dairy Lake to the front and making that a road going out the back, changing the opening of the curb cut, changing where parking spots go in the front, everything just to avoid the loss of one parking spot. And then the ultimate, it ended with, as long as we keep the driveway curb cut a certain footage, he was understanding that one spot would have to be lost. And it was all for the betterment of that one business. So I hope he saw the return, but it wasn't easy. But
So are they gonna change it?
yes, the plan does show us doing it as part of that project.
So would you do it like in the spring before they open?
I have no idea. It's just a matter of if we get the grant
Oh,
and when it falls into line.
Ideally,
Ideally,
you wouldn't do it in the middle of summer.
no, we looked at, like, this was very detailed, looked into and studied that. We're like, okay, if we're replacing the commercial street culvert, and part of that culvert is we're gonna remove the back of that, Dairy Delight out, that, like, the back of Dairy Delight, everyone sits on picnic tables, is not their property, that's right of way for the culverts.
Okay.
And, we said, all right, we're gonna do our best that once we get the green light to go, that we'll coordinate that culvert replacement is done in the off-season to not interfere with the business. And that business is closed a good bit of the year, so.
Right.
And there's still a lot of construction season around that window. It was a very good suggestion on the business owner's part that, hey, if you're gonna remove this whole back and then reconstruct it, maybe it's a good opportunity that I can improve the access in out of my lot. Maybe you only come in on Barn Hill Road and the road goes behind to get out and you have to exit onto Commercial Street. That was pretty smart. And then move the people up to the front because people attract people. If you see people sitting safely in the front, and then, to be honest with you, I was telling him, I said, I go to your place often, pet peeve of mine, I'm in line, I hate when people park right in front of the window because there's always kids running out there. It's like, I don't even know why there's spots there, but it's a spot's dollar signs, so it was very analytical, and there was a good plan put together that he gave us our blessing at the end, and that's what we sent out to get funded.
Well, of course, especially with having a crosswalk there that's lighted and stuff in the future, people will probably continue to park across the street.
I think a lot of
people do that.
but I'd say a good half of it park across the street.
Yeah. And that's Tambellini's property.
Mhm. Yeah, it still goes back to old Tambellini's,
Yeah.
are still the current owner.
Okay.
It's worth it.
Let's see. So that's the process. Lesnet sidewalk from Bank to Pennsylvania.
The only thing that was ever discussed with that was that, with the roundabout, a roundabout would have sidewalks all around it, and you saw the final plans we put together for preliminary design for the roundabout, and it did have sidewalks, where there currently isn't, but it doesn't complete the whole Lesnet sidewalk.
Would you like, something like that, until they figure out exactly what they're gonna do with the roundabout and where everything's laid out, I wouldn't even look at the sidewalks there until you know it's good, because the road might change, especially like what he was talking about with the buses coming on, which side the buses stop on, and so that might change on Lesnar.
Well, and we've reached that part of the list where it's all higher hanging fruit and
Yeah. And then we also also had a suggestion that came up from Melissa, was that when Upper St. Clair was doing their comp plan earlier this year, we sent a letter to them saying, hey, would you please encourage pedestrian connectivity on Lesnett to connect to the Bridgeville streets that do have sidewalks. So we did make a request for them to put something in their comp plan that would match our active transportation plan. We did do that.
I have noticed that they're starting to put in a lot of sidewalks in Upper St. Clair. And that was a huge part of their comp
Because
plan.
they're getting bullied by Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon brags about all their sidewalks and how the sidewalk stops when you get to Upper St. Clair. So Upper St. Clair is like, I guess we need sidewalks.
Okay. You know, we've got sidewalks here for McLaughlin Run, pedestrian access to McLaughlin Park.
That could be yellow. We had that minor, granted, it's a
Yeah.
step in the right direction. When we did the conditional use permit for Mossbach, it was to delineate the pedestrian route across there.
Okay.
There was some traction.
Would you separate Coolidge out of that then?
Sure.
Ridge Road access to, Ridge Road access to Cook School Park sidewalk.
Who asked me, somebody asked me the other day whether or not Upper St. Clair wanted to build a bridge across McLaughlin Park, go across McLaughlin Road to get to the park or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't either. I don't even remember who said it to me. I think I was, did I dream that?
How about she's having?
And it just goes to show you I'm thinking too much about this stuff.
Liberty Street pedestrian way. You know, this is again,
I don't know what he's done there. We have Liberty Street. There is a pedestrian path on Liberty Street.
upgrade the pedestrian sidewalk down to Bower Hill Road, with all the stuff that you guys did last.
I don't know if it was just a maintenance thing when the plan was done, that it wasn't up to par, but now it's cut back and maintained well. Is that what this would be?
Probably.
Have you been through there?
I have not been through there.
Oh.
I don't dare cross Bower Hill Road.
A long time ago, like not that long ago, but there was a landslide and the road got closed.
Yeah.
And it did get shortened back to, there is an asphalt path, probably a 5-foot asphalt pedestrian route path from Bar Hill Road
Up there.
up Liberty Street. It is, I don't know what more you could do.
I'll take a walk up through there to see.
Sometimes it doesn't get overgrown, but I know we've done extensive brush cutting back up there.
Okay,
It may be done, but I don't know.
we'll,
If you could look at it and let me know what else could be envisioned, because I don't know what more could be done.
Yeah, I think it was just, I think it had become so overgrown or something, and, you know, all about trying to put a better walking surface on there.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, it's asphalt, so
Okay.
it isn't like it's just like a stone path, it's an asphalt path.
okay. Bridgeville Library pedestrian bridge,
No, don't do that.
well, you know, that's
An awesome idea.
that's a 20-year plan.
Well, okay, I won't be dead when it happens, but, you know,
Yeah.
we should put it in the
Okay.
plan. It's an awesome.
Okay. All right. And that's pretty much the, active transportation plan. I'm gonna leave the flow chart till next time. I'm gonna continue moving on here. We're running. West side of Bridgeville Park / playground possibilities. Joe, you put together a list.
Yeah, there's probably other opportunities out there, but this is just some suggestions. And what I did is I used GIS, and I just did a parcel and I looked for it, and I know the area well, but one lot stuck out that I never gave much merit to in the past is there's, I call it like an orphan or a ghost lot that's an abandoned piece of property. I think it was called Chambers Avenue, when the road was But this parcel is actually, straddles the Collier-Ridgeville line, with most of it being in Collier, which is great. That a good portion of it would be flat for like a small, like, top lot kind of deal. I mean, you're not gonna get a big park, but it is centrally located for that neighborhood that it could be walked to, that it's in a location where it's safe, and it still will leave a good bit of buffer between 79 and the neighborhood, so you're not like clearing out a massive area. And if there was interest in it, the borough potentially could acquire it through the county's vacant property recovery program.
I mean, let's
It'd be
go look
worth
at it.
How big of a lot is it?
6 acres.
6 acres is a lot.
6 acres is huge.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, it gets too close to 79 and it's steep.
Steep, okay.
But, so when you go up there, behind May Avenue, there's an unnamed alley
Right.
between the 79. So
Right.
it's May Avenue, 79, there's an alley in between. On the other side of that alley, you'll see a lot of people park their cars there, have a garden, and then other areas are just wooded. But there is a good area that's not extensively big, but little pockets that are flat before it drops off that you could do like a little parklet.
I mean, there's enough room for a swing set and a slide and stuff.
Yeah.
But a big slide,
Yeah, I would say so.
all the future.
It's like up there, it's like a lot of the other properties are cliffs.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And like the borough owns a very big piece of park property up there that was supposed to be a park, and it's like, it's on paper as a park, you know, and it's just the wooded hillside you see, and I think it's like 12 acres or, no, it's again 5.7 acres, so 6 acres. But I would encourage you, just look at that parcel, like go on county assessments, put in that parcel number, and then,
It's the 197S2.
yeah, but the idea is like, if you wanted to go there, just go to Perret Street and just go to
Keep
the
going
end.
straight.
And then when you hit the woods, you're looking at it. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that the most, has the most people around it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it, looking at the parcels that you gave us, is this, would this be the easiest one to try and do something with?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. The ones like, obviously like the borough one would be the easiest, but the topography isn't there, and then where it is, it's like, it's logistically unattractive, you know? And I think that property is just very nice conservation space, is what it is and what it should always maintain and be, you know? But that Perret one, it'd be worth seeing how much is you can, I didn't walk in the woods, you know what I mean, but I've been up there a bunch of times, that, I don't know how much is there, but looking at a map, I think this is probably the most doable.
Okay.
And then I think it may be the most welcomed location as well, because other people may be used to not having neighbors and liking that buffer, and, you know, sometimes change in the west side of town isn't accepted real well, so. You know, where they're used to having a wooded lot. you know.
Sure.
And then the other one would have been perfect is May Avenue, but I have plans that are coming for you next month to subdivide it to build homes on it. But that would have been the easiest one, but if that wasn't in the works, now we're stuck with this. And then the Perret lots are very similar to the May Avenue one. It's the same neighborhood.
Okay. So we should take a look, we should all take a look at it and see, or?
I think so.
So what is Hall Way?
Was
Like, so there's
Oh,
Holy
that's
Child property,
it's a real nice grassy lot. That's actually pretty nice
like
too.
on the outside of their fence, like that
Mhm.
grassy area?
Yeah, so it's essentially across from the Methodist church. So you know where the
Oh,
Sharps
yeah,
live?
yeah.
Across the street
Yeah.
from the Sharps.
Oh, yeah, that'd be,
Mhm.
that's a good spot,
That's a good spot too.
yeah.
That's another good one. It's the church.
I have a question.
I mean, there's like
So,
decent parking in that, probably a little bit better parking in that neighborhood.
Oh, there's definitely.
Yeah,
would, that one's like down by the church,
Mhm.
and one's way up here.
Yeah,
It isn't like they're right by each other and.
Yeah, because they're two different neighborhoods.
right,
Exactly.
right.
And the church owns that one.
Yeah, the church acquired it a couple years ago from the Koskis. It was actually in line with that railroad spur.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
we'll take a look at the properties and talk about it again, revisit next month,
Sounds good.
okay? Moving on, Environmental Advisory Committee. Dark sky regulations, we're running out of time. I would take a motion to table this till next month. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Just one thing, I'm sorry, I got behind you. The electric vehicle charging stations, did we just slide over that? 'Cause I don't-
We didn't even look at that list.
All right, just somebody make a note that my husband would love for electric vehicle.
Yeah, we'll go through that list next
That
month.
would be awesome. Okay.
Okay, I got a motion to table the dark sky conversation till next month. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Alright.
tabled.
I had a couple handouts there.
Yeah.
One was an estimate to switch out all our lights, that's what that would be.
Yeah,
Okay.
can you get grant money for that?
Maybe.
Okay.
There ought to be some type of environmental program that would support that. But I did get answers from West Penn and then the borough, so it's all
I
there.
saw that. Culinary garden improvements,
We can table that if we want to, too.
okay. Okay, so, item 4, basically, Shade Tree Commission, they had their meeting November, we'll have a meeting November 1st.
Planting
Tree
trees.
planting,
Yeah, this Saturday.
Shade Tree Commission, community tree planting.
Joseph, do you know, get a good list of, do we have a good list?
I emailed him this morning, as of last Thursday, there was 13 people signed up, and then I shared it again on Facebook, and I emailed him before I left today. I checked before I came in here, and I didn't get a response, I wanted an updated count.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm up to 20. 20 people were set, even with 13 were set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have,
We
I
can,
don't know if I registered,
share-
I think I did register, so.
Yes, we're meeting 9 AM here on Saturday.
Okay, public comment, quickly, going once, going twice, okay. Next meeting is Monday, December 1st, 2025, starting at 7 PM.
There's no November meeting?
November, December, yes.
Oh, it's not on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So don't come here week of Thanksgiving. It's the following Monday. This is that weird one.
Okay,
Twofer.
twofer.
Correct.
Adjournment, motion,
I'll make a motion.
Second.
okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
About those, if you're looking for a field trip, so that quote for to redo
Yeah.
the avenue,
Yeah,